Hello students, welcome to the third lecture of Java for BCA 5th semester. It's Unit 1, Fundamentals of Object-Oriented Programming as per the syllabus of IK Gujral, Punjab Technical University, Jalandhar. In today's lecture, I am going to discuss about benefits and applications of Object-Oriented Programming sequence. Before I discuss about benefits and applications of Java or object-oriented programming, what do you think are the major issues facing the software industry today? These are some of the major issues: maintainability of the software, reusability of the content, portability, security, integrity, user friendliness. If I ask to some of the students or to all the students that what is the meaning of maintainability? If I am talking in terms of maintainability, it is the probability of performing a successful repair action within a given time is known as maintainability. Now, what about reusability? Using the existing set of code again and again, as per in the case of inheritance. Third part is portability. Portability is related to different computer environments. We can execute a program copied from one system to another system or different platform. Here system means a platform. With little or no modification, we can execute the program. Part D is security. It refers to the use of software to prevent damage to computer files. Part E is integrity. Now, what is the meaning of integrity? It refers to the methods of ensuring that data is real, accurate, and safeguard from unauthorized user modification. That's integrity. The last part is user friendliness. What about user friendliness? The parts of user friendliness are simple, clean, reliable, and intuitive. Now, what is the meaning of simple? Simple generally, which is not complex, is known as simple. Or you can say the quick access to the common features of the language. Now, what is the meaning of clean? Clean stands for well organized interface, making it easy to locate different tools. Now, next one is reliable. Now, what is the meaning of reliable? Consistently good in quality, or you can say performance. Last one is intuitive. Require minimum explanation for how to use the interface, that is intuitive. Now everybody should know about these contents. I repeat again: maintainability, reusability, portability, security, integrity, and user friendliness. Now, what about user friendliness? It comprises of 4 parts. One is simple, second is clean, third is reliable, and fourth is intuitive. I repeat again: maintainability, it's the probability of performing a successful repair action within a given time. Then reusability, I have already explained this: using the existing assets in one way or the other within the software product development process. Now, what is the meaning of assets? Fields or methods already defined in the parent class. That's known as asset. These assets are generally comprised of data and methods already defined in another class, that is parent class. Third one is portability. It means how easily an application can be transferred from one system to another, or you can say computer environment, or we can say if the effort required to adopt new environment is within reasonable limits, means with little or no modification, we can shift the application from one system to another system or one computer environment to another computer environment. Part D is security. It refers to the use of software to prevent damage to computer files. Basically, what is the meaning of security? To prevent damage to computer files, not the hardware. I am talking in terms of software development, programs, and operating system, as well as to monitor a PC or laptop for theft. Now, what is the meaning of theft here? Because of hacking process, nobody can hack your data. It's not the physical theft that somebody steals your laptop or your system. It's not like that. I am talking in terms of software. Theft means some hacker hacks your data. Integrity. It refers to methods or ensuring that data is real, accurate, and safeguard from unauthorized user modification. Means nobody can use your data or methods. Now the last one is user friendliness. It means simple to learn and understand. Some of the attributes found in user friendliness or user friendly interface are as below. Number one is simple, means not complex. Quick access to common features or commands. To common features, which features are common. Otherwise, we have to import the features also in the languages. Or you can say include the feature at the top of the program in case of your C++ language. But in case of Java, you have to import the features, or in case of Python, you have to import the features. Now, what is the meaning of clean? Second one, well organized, good interface, making it easy to locate different tools and options. If you can clearly identify the tools, you can clearly use the tools, then it's known as clean content. Third one is reliable. An unreliable product is not user friendly, since it will cause undue frustration for the user. A user friendly product is reliable and doesn't malfunction or crash. It's not crashed easily. You can say consistently good in quality. With the passage of time, it gives accurate results and performance. That's known as reliable. Fourth one is intuitive. An interface must make sense to the average user and should require minimal explanation for how to use it. Now about benefits. After completing this task, benefits can be easily explained. First is reusability of the code, that's inheritance. Second one, if I talk about security, it can be achieved using data hiding or encapsulation, with which we can hide certain parts of the data from the user. It depends upon programmer to programmer or data to data that what's to be hidden. Part C is data redundancy, made possible with the help of inheritance. Means duplicacy of data is not required. We can implement the data once declared in another class. Suppose I declare the data in a parent class and I am going to use that particular data in child class with the help of inheritance. It means redundancy or duplicacy of data is removed. I have to declare once the data and can reuse that particular data or methods. Last one is design benefits. Large program can be easily maintained using object-oriented concept. Now, what is the meaning of design benefits? I can divide the program into smaller units or smaller modules or smaller parts. And by using that particular part, I can implement the contents easily. Now about application of OOPS. What are the various applications? Real-time system, object-oriented databases, graphical user interface, artificial intelligence and expert system, parallel programming, CAD/CAM, simulation and modeling, and neural networks. These are some of the applications, but applications are too much of object-oriented programming sequence. You can learn a lot. Now first one, real-time system. I divide the topic into following parts. Number one is definition, then example, terms related to RTS, that is job, task, release time, execution time, and deadline. I divide the content into these parts. First of all, definition. If I am talking in terms of real-time system, what is the meaning of real-time system? It means that the system is subjected to real time. Now, what is the meaning of real time? That is, response should be granted within a specified timing constraint, or system should meet the specified deadline. For example, if I am talking in terms of flight control system, it's granted within a specified timing constraint and meet the specified deadline. Satellite guidance system, it's required. It's more appropriate real-time system. Now, what are the terms related to real-time system? If I am talking in terms of job, what is the meaning of job? If task assigned to a processor, not a task, a small piece of work assigned to a processor, may or may not require resources. Second one is task. Task is a set of jobs. Then release time of a job. It is the time at which job becomes ready for execution. This time needs before the start of the job. Then execution time of a job. It's the time taken by the job to complete its execution or finish its execution. Now, what is the difference between execution time and deadline? Execution time may be any, but deadline is given by the system. It is the time by which a job should finish its execution. It's a fixed time, but execution time may vary. This one is the most important topic, that is object-oriented databases. An object database is a database management system in which information is represented in the form of objects as used in object-oriented programming. We already know about databases. If databases are purely related to objects, then they are object-oriented databases. Now, object-oriented databases or object databases are different from relational databases, which are table-oriented. Both are different. And we can also combine both the contents. That is, object or relational databases are a hybrid of both approaches. Let us study that. First of all, what are the points of difference between object-oriented and relational databases? First step is long form, or you can say the expansion or abbreviation. What is the meaning of RDBMS? It's a relational database management system. And second one is OODBMS, means object-oriented database management system. Second one, how to store the data. It stores in entities defined as tables hold specific information in case of RDBMS. But in case of object oriented, it stores data as objects. Here the data is stored as entities, tables to hold the specific information. But here the data is stored using objects. Third one is data complexity. Handles comparatively simpler data. Handles larger and complex data than RDBMS. Later on, if you work only on object-oriented databases or relational database management system, you can learn easily by applying the contents in programming. The last one is data handling. RDBMS stores only data. This one is important, and object-oriented stores data as well as method to use it. This one is the most important one. Now the last topic is that is object relational databases. Object-oriented programming sequence comprise of inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and many more. These are some of the topics. What about a relational database management system? Some data type in column, same data type in one column. It's one characteristic. Each column have different name. It's another characteristic of a relational database. Query processing. Now, suppose I implement a relational database management system and apply the concept of inheritance and also apply the concept of encapsulation or data hiding. Means I can hide some of the data from the user, and also by the use of object-oriented programming sequence, I can inherit some of the databases to another database set. That is object-oriented and a relational database management system. The next one is graphical user interface. It is also the important application of object-oriented programming sequence. Currently, there are 3 sets of Java API. Application programming interface for graphic programming. Number 1 is AWT, that is Abstract Window Toolkit. Second is Swing, and third is Java FX. Many more are there, but these are currently I am discussing about graphical user interface. FX stands for effects. Now AWT stands for Abstract Window Toolkit, is one of the nice platform for designing a software in Java. In upcoming lectures of Java Lab, I will discuss about AWT also. One is AWT and second is event handling. These two topics are too much important topics. In Abstract Window Toolkit, we learn to design the things, and in event handling, how to use that particular item. Designing of a button is one thing, and by clicking on button to perform some action is known as event handling. These are two different topics. One is designing, second is how to use that particular design. Most of the AWT components become obsolete and should be replaced by newer Swing components. Now AWT, if I am talking about AWT is the older version and Swing is the latest version, and we can apply the same content in Swing also, but with modification. Swing API, a much more comprehensive set of graphics library that enhances AWT, means additional features with AWT is there inside Swing. was introduced as part of Java Foundation class JFC after the release of JDK 1.1. These are the versions of a Java development kit. The latest Java FX, which was integrated into JDK 8, is meant to replace Swing. Now, if I repeat again, one thing is AWT. AWT plus some add-on features is known as Swing. Swing plus some add-on features, Java FX. Now, advantages of object relational databases. What are the advantages of object relational databases, which is combination of object-oriented and relational database management system? If I am talking in terms of inheritance, the object relational data model allows its user to inherit objects, tables, etc. I have already discussed this point so that they can extend their functionality. Inherited objects contain new attributes as well as the attributes that are inherited. Means the contents from parent sides can be added to the contents of the child class. Now the second one is complex data type. Complex data types can be formed using existing data types. This is useful in object relational data model as complex data type allow better manipulation of the data. For example, if I am talking in terms of array, array is a combination of your integer data types or string data types. But in case of classes, if I am talking in terms of classes, class is a combination of your float data type, integer, string, and any other. These are complex data types. We can apply these complex data type inside your object relational databases. The next one is extensibility. The functionality of the system can be extended in object relational data model. This can be achieved using complex data type as well as an advanced concept of object-oriented model such as inheritance. Means you can extend the features. Basically, it's reusability. The next application is artificial intelligence and expert system. Artificial intelligence or expert system is a computer system that emulates means just similar to your simulation, the decision making ability of a human expert. It's basically artificial intelligence. Expert systems are designed to solve complex problems by reasoning through bodies of knowledge, represented mainly as if then rules. If one condition, then this condition. Like this, we have to develop some algorithms to use or apply expert system. These are some of the contents which you can study: Siri, Tesla, Cogito, Netflix, Pandora. These are the application of AI. You have to study at your own level these contents. If you find any difficulty, then you can discuss with me. Next one is parallel computing. Now, what is the meaning of parallel? It means one task is performed parallel to another task, that is parallel computing. Refers to the process of breaking down larger problems into smaller, independent, often similar parts that can be executed simultaneously by multiple processors, communicating via shared memory. Means one server is there and multiple processors are sharing the memory, sharing the same memory. That is parallel computing. The results of which are combined upon completion as part of an overall algorithm. And later on, we can combine the results of all the systems or all the persons working on those particular system. This one is also the most important application as far as your mechanical engineering, automobile engineering, or designing contents in engineering are concerned. Computer aided design or CAD is an important industry within the tech world. It involves utilizing computers to help with engineering and design for a wide range of projects. Common types of computer-aided design including metal fabrication, carpentry, 3D printing, as well as others that have impacted modern manufacturing and other business processes. If you really want to learn about CAD, then you can go for AutoCAD, SolidWorks, CATIA, Pro-E. These are the softwares on which you can work easily for designing purposes. The other area which is related to your CAD is known as CAM, computer aided manufacturing, is the use of software and computer controlled machinery, or you can say CCM, to automate a manufacturing process. Based on that definition, you need three components. Basically, three components are required for that, for a CAM system to function. Number one is software, second is machinery, and third one is post processing. Now you already know about software and machinery and also about post processing. Software that tells a machine how to make a product by generating tool path. Second one is machinery that can turn raw material into a finished product. Third one is post processing that converts tools paths into a language machine can understand. This one is the most important part, that converts tool paths into a language machine can understand. Next application is simulation and modeling. Simulation enables experimentation on a valid digital representation of a system. Enables experimentation on a valid digital representation of a system. Unlike physical modeling, such as making a scale copy of a building, simulation modeling is computer based and uses algorithms and equations. With the help of algorithms, numbers, and equations, we have to draw something. That's known as simulation. What is the difference between modeling and simulation? Modeling is the act of building a model. And what about simulation? A simulation is a process of using a model to study the behavior and performance of an actual or theoretical system. It is a major difference. You can tell to somebody or you can defend yourself in interview. These are the three steps to develop a simulation model. Number one is identify the problem with an existing system or set requirements of a proposed system. I repeat again, identify the problem. You have to identify the problem with an existing system that exists inside the present system, or set requirements of a proposed system. You have to set the requirements of a proposed system depending upon the problems in existing system. Step number two, design the problem while taking care of the existing system. Factors and limitations. The last word is too much important. The limitations of the existing system needs to design the problem in second step. Now, step number three, collect and start processing the system data, observing its performance and result. This is also a branch of basically deep learning, the advanced feature of your Python neural networks. You can go into research field also. It's basically the part of research. A neural network is a series of algorithms that endeavors to recognize underlying relationships in a set of data through a process that mimics the way the human brain operates. Basically, it's related to mimics means represents the way the human brain operates, in which human brain is working. That's neural networks. Neuro means related to brain. With the help of algorithms, we are studying the working of human brain. In this sense, neural network refers to a system of neurons, either organic or artificial in nature. Now, what is the meaning of neurons? A neuron is the basic working unit of the brain, a specialized cell designed to transmit information to other nerve cells, muscle or gland cells. This one is the structure. I'm not going into detail of that part because it's the part of biology, or you can say depends upon some other field. But we can work on the artificial neural networks or neural networks with the help of computer science. These are some of the summarized features. We already discussed benefits, applications, RTS, CAD-CAM, parallel computing, and many more. Thanks for attending the lecture.